Thanks, Steve. And apologize for the delay. Just start by saying that. Good afternoon. Appreciate everybody being here. I think it's important for all of us to be together as our team wraps up their first week of voluntary workouts. And I'm going to take a few minutes and give you an update on the program. And then we'll have three players tell you about this week and their hope for the 2020 season. Before that, I want to provide an update on what's happened this past week off the field. As you know, there are serious and troubling comments by many former players about their experience while they're on our team. And it comes at an important time during our nation's history. With what happened to George Floyd and the worldwide reaction to his death, I think it's given all of us a better and deeper understanding of what racism and bias is, and it's already, I think, begun an initiative for real change. As a team and as a program, we have a responsibility and a tremendous opportunity at this moment to lead the change and set a new, higher standard for collegiate football. I spent every day this past week calling and meeting with former players, staff members, and others, and have heard how our program helped many of them achieve their goals, including some reaching the NFL. The coaching style by some was at times demeaning and created unnecessary frustration and anxiety. One byproduct of that is some of our black athletes feeling that they couldn't be themselves in our culture. And to that end, we must be more inclusive and more aware. I've learned that the approach is probably more important than intent. Football is a demanding game, it's hard work. But every coach must approach every encounter with a player as a teaching moment, try to be encouraging and empowering to our players versus just creating accountability. I've learned that you must always keep your eyes focused on improvement, especially when you're winning. And I thought we had a good, healthy team culture. I know we have outstanding guys, really good people on our team, but if you do not constantly or consistently look at every aspect, then you don't have and if you have an environment where players don't feel like they can bring up an issue, that's a problem. I feel like I let those players down by not creating that environment where they did feel comfortable and sharing more about their experiences, bringing that to our attention while they were here. I know our coaches feel the same way, and we're committed to making sure that never happens again. In fact, that change has already begun. We're finalizing the members of our advisory committee, which will be an important opportunity for all of us. The group will be chaired by Mike Daniels, and there will be 10 other former players with a variety of experience, both in coaching, non-coaching, playing, but a wide experience. All will be focused on sharing ideas to gain insight, how to create a better culture moving forward for our players. I've honestly been overwhelmed by the response and the willingness of all these people, plus many others, to help us strengthen our program. And it just shows how much these guys who have worn the Hawkeye jersey truly love the program and are committed to helping make things better. For that, I'm very appreciative. As for our current team, Monday we officially greeted our players for the first time in person. It was great to have them back. We spent Monday in meetings instead of a workout, and the players did most of the talking. It was raw, it was powerful, and productive. Everything was on the table, and got somewhat heated and somewhat emotional at times, and I think that's good. Tuesday we were scheduled to work out, and we decided again the meeting's probably at the best point. And the day started. Actually, it started the night before. Our Hawkeye Championship captains reached out to us as a coaching staff and requested to see us first thing in the morning, so they came to our 8:30 meeting. It's that time where they told us, first of all, they wanted to be here, they wanted to be coached, and they want to start working. We were supposed to start drills that day, as I said. We decided at that point, again, as a coaching staff, the most important thing we could do is meet again, follow up on Monday's meetings, and then try to move forward. And there were more hard conversations. Wednesday, we started workouts for the first time. The players are excited to be back training. I'll bring them up here in a moment. I will not comment on Coach Doyle today out of respect for the process. I will tell you that we're very, very sad to see Dylan Doyle go. But certainly understand and fully support his decision. He's a tremendous young man. We're ready to start putting some things in place to make things better. An important step has been the 2020 leadership group that was formulated this week, in conjunction with the coaches and the Hawkeye Championship captains. And I'm really pleased about the group of 21 And I think if you notice, it includes some second and third year guys, some younger guys for a little better cross section of voices. I'll finish with this. I was talking to one of our new players this week. In fact, it was on Wednesday, I guess. Told him it was certainly a tough time for him to join the program coming in. And I was really encouraged by his response. He said, you know, Coach, I'm excited to be here. And he says, we have a chance to set the bar for college football. So really happy about him. I agree he's right. And that is our goal, has been our goal, will be our goal today, tomorrow, and moving forward. With that, I'll go ahead and throw it out for questions.
Kirk, you said change has already begun. Can you point any concrete things you're doing right now as we're taking over, besides the advisory committee?
Yeah, really in a couple things. So in earnest, had several conversations on last Friday night, with several players, former players, just to find out, learn a little bit more about their, what they were feeling. And so really the impact of what they said, I think, really began that change, if you will. And the bottom line is it's continued all week long. That's really where it became very apparent to me that we've missed an opportunity not having an advisory board of former players, because it became very apparent they were more free to talk and really share things. And so that's one step right there. But I think the most important steps are when our team came back. And that Monday meeting is about as emotional and powerful meeting as I've ever seen. So that was the beginning. I think, but the key thing is that we have tremendous people in our program. I've long felt great about our players, feel great about our coaches, and I'm convinced we all want to do the right thing. So it's all about learning more and trying to move forward. And that's where our intent is. And I think we've made great progress this week. Obviously, it's only a start.
Stand in front of your team, incredibly lead it.
I lost a little bit, Mark. I'm sorry.
And all members of your coaching staff stand in front of your team and have your team lead it. Will your team listen to everybody in your
currently?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. That's part of my responsibility.
Many of your coaches were called out on social media, and some of them have not been suspended for certain allegations. How are you treating those? How much discussion is there, and are they going to be permanent members of your staff, or is that ongoing as part of the investigation?
Well, yeah, the outside group will be a supplemental resource certainly to the process, but that's part of my daily routine. But certainly Friday night, my awareness was heightened by some things. So, part of my job is to evaluate what we need to be doing on a daily basis, and I just made the decision last Saturday that I didn't feel like Chris could adequately. It wasn't fair to put him in the weight room. Fair to players, fair to him. It just wasn't a workable environment. And that's a decision I'll continue to make daily. But, you weigh and measure things, and ultimately, and it kind of goes back to the last question. We need to make sure all of us can walk in the building and our players have confidence in us and feel like they can, function forward.
What do you know now that you didn't know a week ago, and why didn't you know a week ago?
Yeah, first of all, we probably don't have time to discuss everything, but the obvious question to me, the biggest question to me is, why the blind spot? And I think every person has a blind spot. I'm sure every leader has a blind spot. So, what things didn't I miss? And it kind of ties into some things we've talked about. The former players were very, forthcoming. They were very direct, and just pointed out some things that perhaps gave me a new awareness. And I think Monday's meeting, Tuesday's meeting, followed up with that light. So, the key here is to try to create an environment where everybody feels free to talk and say their mind, and know that it's going to be weighed and valued and measured. So that's a first step, I think, and part of that process is just learning better what questions to ask and where to go. Take full advantage of the resources available, and that's really what led me to the advisory committee. That concept.
One more question for Coach before we go to the players.
Kirk, did you apologize to your former players? Do you feel like the blame is on you in the situation?
I don't know that I apologize, and I think they know how I feel. I don't want to speak for any of them, I can assure you. But a couple thoughts on that. Anybody that leaves here with a bad experience, or anybody that leaves here without a degree, that's a failure for our program. Those are program goals. And hoping everybody can be the best football player they can be. Those are the three things that count as we look at it, our goals and our missions. So, yeah, obviously, anybody that didn't have a great experience, and we all understand our players, that came loud and clear from them. They want to be coached, and they know football's a tough game. It's demanding, all right? It's a demanding game. It's a game of measurements at times because, if it's 4th and 1, you either make it or you don't. You either stop them or you don't, and we either win or we lose. So those are the realities of it. But it's a lot more complex than that. There's so much gray area and there's so many things, and a big part of that is knowing who you're speaking for and knowing that you're responsible for your words and actions at all times. And that's a tough thing for any coach, right? So, and we've all said things. At least I'll speak for myself. We've done things and said things that maybe, geez, I wish I hadn't done that. And when that happens, you have to recognize it and then address it, and acknowledge it, own it, and then you got to try to work to improve it. And I think that's key in anything you do in life. Certainly it is in what we do. It's so intimate, and it is challenging. But the bottom line, and going back to the part of your question, I'm responsible for anything that happens here. That's my accountability. That's my responsibility. I'm the head coach. So anything that happens is a failure. That's on my desk. That's my issue to deal with. And I can't do anything about what's happened. What I can do is try to do a better job moving forward. And I stand here, very proud of all the many things that have been taken place, many accomplishments by our teams, by individuals. And, but the focus is always on what do we need to do better to make it a better experience for our players.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
We'll start with some opening comments from